All right, I meant to make this a while ago, but I had finished Fire and Blood, and I am absolutely obsessed. Like, obsessed beyond reasonable measures. I love this so much. I am more excited for House of the Dragon Season 2 and Blood and Fire, if that's the title that George R. R. Martin is sticking with. Um, the second book in this than I am, like, Winds of Winter. I'm more excited for the next set of Targaryen history textbooks than I am Winds of Winter. It makes no sense. I'm sorry, but I am. I love this part of the series. So my experience with this was I bought both of these books because beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pictures. I had no choice. And I just finished A Song of Ice and Fire, so I needed to read Fire and Blood now. And I was really hesitant just because I was told this reads like a history textbook. And I'm like, might be a little bit difficult to get through, but there was the audiobook on YouTube. So I was following along as someone is reading it on YouTube with the book words here, and I was looking at the pictures that corresponded in this book. Such beautiful artwork, I recommend. And completely obsessed. I read it all in 3 sittings. The only reason it was not in 2 sittings was because life got in the way, and I'm upset about that. I loved every single page of this book. I loved every single character, every single king, every side character, and I want to know more. My only complaint is I want more. I want this much on Jaehaerys alone. I want this much on Aegon's conquest. I want this much on Aegon the Third. I cannot tell you how much I love this series. Just because this is more or less written like a history textbook and following second and third hand accounts and letters and rumors all just compiled into what we think happened does not mean this is any less engaging than a story where we're following point of view characters. And I love the uncertainty. I love the unreliable narrator. I love the bias that each voice of this story has, and the author within the book, how much this maester putting everything together, his favoritism and where his viewpoint lies. I loved everything. So I picked up the series mostly because I wanted to watch the first season of House of the Dragon completely unspoiled, and it was wonderful. Loved it. But I knew I wouldn't be able to really avoid spoilers for going on, and I'm just like, let me get the book. And I figured I'd have to go through this over months, and it was too engaging for me to stop. I'm probably going to go into a couple specific examples now, so if you want unspoiled, see ya, click away. I love this series. I recommend it. If you've been hesitant to pick it up, It's wonderful. Starting with Aegon's conquest and his relationships with his sister's wives. I believe the names are Visenya and Rhaenys, and he clearly had the favorite sister being the younger one. He was married to the older one more out of duty. And what was their relationship like? We don't know from this book alone, so I needed explored in the TV show. So when the Dance of the Dragons is finished, the next part of the series better be like Aegon's conquest. I want to see the king who flew. I want to see the battle with the dragons. I want him to see them burning down Harrenhal. I want to see everything. What was in that letter from Dorne, Martin? I want to know if Aegon's children are even his, because both of his children, born by his 2 sister wives, were, like, later in life. Granted, they were in a war, they were doing a lot of fighting and battling, and that's probably not the best time to conceive said child. I want to know if Maegor was born from black magic. I want to know if that's the reason he couldn't have children. I want to know who killed the High Septon after he, like, made a statement like, Maegor is not the king, come apologize and beg forgiveness from the Seven, and Maegor and Visenya are flying on their dragons ready to burn Old Town to the ground, and when they get there the gates are open and everyone's just like, oh yeah, the High Septon had an accident, he's dead now, please come in. No one killed him, we promise. This was all a coincidence. I love it so much. I want to know what the relationship was like between Maegor and his brother. So, okay, I'm so interested in Maegor's story right now because when I first read the book, I'm just like, oh, he's just a cruel, terrible king. But then I fell down the rabbit hole of YouTube and theories on what was going on in Westeros at the time. And the maesters who are writing this book and are distributing the history all through Westeros is just like Maegor the Cruel, and that's how they portrayed him. And granted, he was cruel. He did some terrible, 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 unforgivable things. However, there were also some moments that definitely suggest that the Citadel is projecting a view of history and how they want to interpret the kings. So it's awful convenient that Maegor had no problem really with his brother Aenys, Aenys the second, the king after Aegon, and he listened to him. He put down rebellions in his name. He didn't really fight with him. When he was told his brother that he had to go off into exile, Maegor listened. He took a second wife and it's just like, dude, you can't do that. We got to keep the faith more or less happy. So I'm banishing you for 5 years or so. All right, bro, I'm gone. He just leaves. He does not try to kill his brother at any point. I was under the impression he killed his brother. He didn't. He killed his nephew. Besides the point, the second king here died most possibly by illness, possibly by poisoning. It might have been Visenya who killed him. We don't know. But there was no evidence that Maegor was as cruel to his brother as he was going forward. So I want to know the history between the brothers, and would he have done what he did if his brother had lived longer? I want to know if the Septon and everyone at Old Town were purposefully trying to manipulate events to make Maegor act in certain ways to get him, the public against him, whereas with Jaehaerys, he was also going against the faith, but he was kind of keeping to tradition enough and not stepping outside it enough to cause an upturn. So they were more supportive with his claim and weren't trying to depose him the way that they did with Maegor. So Maegor took a second wife, and the faith is just completely he is a monster and a demon. Whereas with Jaehaerys, hey, you married your sister, this is incest. We were opposed to your brother, possibly, doing this, and we were against him. But with you, it's cool. We're okay with you because you're playing the game the way that we want it played. I want to know who killed Maegor. What the hell was with that? You could tell me a ghost did it, and I would believe you. Then the good Queen Alysanne, Jaehaerys and the good Queen Alysanne. I am in love with both of them, so very much, would die for this man. I was screaming at characters in this book who were either A, disrespecting him, or threatening Queen Alysanne. There's a moment there where, so he is very good at getting people on his side and taking enemies and making them his most loyal friends. I will reward you because you thought you were doing what was right and you were efficient at it, even though you were acting against me. Now come to my side that I have defeated you. Be my weapon. Work for me. Oh, you insulted my mother? You hurt her? You were trying to dethrone me and take my throne? That's okay. We can work this out as I casually feed my dragons. You're mine now. I love this man. I love good Queen Alysanne. I love her going to the wall and exploring past it. I love her talking with the women and hearing about the first night of the Lords where they can assault a bride on her wedding day because they deserve the first night. And she's like, yeah, that gotta stop. And Jaehaerys being like, it's kind of a cultural custom thing. I can't really say to stop, and her being like, you're gonna, or I'm going to leave you. Please don't, I love you. And then the advisors being like, this would get the common folks on your side. I think we could spin this to work for us. All right, I guess we're doing that. And then, oh my god, Viserys, the House of the Dragon stuff would not have happened if Queen Alysanne was still alive. God love her heart and soul. She did not deserve the heartbreak with her children. Because she would have had Rhaenys, the queen who never was, on that throne. If she was still alive, Jaehaerys would have eventually bent to her will. I guarantee it. There probably would have just been an earlier civil war, probably. The tragedy that was the House of the Dragon TV show and the Dance of the Dragon. A full-on Greek tragedy that never should have happened, and it left everything in ruins. So many characters dead, and for nothing. Nothing even changed. What they were uprising against, it's still, I'm not going to go into too many of that spoilers, but the line that it follows was as if the dance never happened, except now we have no dragons. Oh, the dragons, Quicksilver, and oh, what was Jaehaerys' dragon's name? Sorry, Vermithor and Silverwing. I love those two dragons in the series, and I hate the dragon riders that they got later because I love them so much because of Jaehaerys and Alysanne. Oh, I was heartbroken when they fell, like actually sobbing. And then seeing the children suffer and die, and Rhaenys outliving so many of her children, and how she was betrayed and she went mad. Oh, and seeing Maegor work so hard to disband the faith just to reflect back on Game of Thrones series, or Song of Ice and Fire's main series, and seeing Cersei reinstate them. Oh my god, that just made it hurt so much harder. I need to know what happened with Queen Alicent's youngest son, the little boy, on that bridge. What really happened there? I need to know. So I am so excited for the next season of House of the Dragon. People are either jumping or being thrown out of windows, and I want to know which one it was. Murder or suicide? I need to know. I am completely addicted to the House of the Dragon and Targaryen family as a whole. I have so many questions. I need to like deep dive through all the Reddit threads and YouTube videos to hear all the stories, and I could watch them for hours. And I just love this so much. Like dying for the next book in this so I can get more Targaryen history knowledge. I cannot sing this book's praises enough. I get the writing style just might not be for everyone. And to that I say the audio of it, whether you watch it on YouTube or the actual paid for one, both helped a lot, but I could have sat down and read this. And I think for a part of it I did because I was just reading on my own. The guy was talking too slow. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna go. I gotta go. I love this so very much. Obviously, King Jaehaerys, my favorite of the Targaryen kings, just to see. I will read about him making roads, the King's Road, all day long. But I also have so many questions about Maegor and how cruel was he really? He was very cruel. He was extremely cruel. But I want to know his relationship with his brother. And even into Aegon the Third. I was convinced it was going to be boring because we're just getting off the epic that was Dance of the Dragon. I'm like, okay, we're settling down. We're just going to go to a stagnant stage. It's fine. We're just ending it here. No, the last line that he utters in this book is basically like, all right, I'm an adult now, right? So I can rule in my own right. Get off my chair. I'm going to do what I want now. And I'm just like, oh, my baby boy is all grown up. I've seen him from birth to the war to being controlled, possibly poisoned, and now he's coming to his own right, and he's going to sit the Iron Throne, and for all I know, he's going to burn the kingdom down. I don't know what kind of king he is. I haven't read the Wikipedia page. I need to know. I'm going to read the Wikipedia page. I love this. I love this. I love all of them. I love all the kings and queens. They're all terrible, terrible, terrible people, but I love them so much. All right. I will go. I will talk to you later. This has been a blast. Read Fire and Blood if you were at all interested. Bye.